All right, 9 minutes to go to the end of FGM Live. This bright beginning of the week. This is the end of FGM Live. My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi, joining you all the way from Kenya. If you're watching from abroad, this is the end of FGM Live show, which brings you the situation as it is in different counties in Kenya. And today, we will be back to West Pokot, where we have seen a surge in FGM cases, and we'll just be hosting guests from the organizations that have been running campaigns, a caravan that has been ongoing, and community sensitization following a sharp rise actually, in FGM cases in that region. It's also a time when different communities are adapting to ways in which they could be able to tackle new challenges due to the coronavirus pandemic. And here we are talking about what progress we have today here at the end of FGM Live. Please remember to leave a comment. Let me know where you are watching from. My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi, and together with Tony Mwebia, Anthony Sophia, and Sonyanga Olengais, or Sonyanga Weblen, some say him, call him so, we will bring you these shows from now on, coming on to next week, Monday to Friday as well. Your comments, keep them coming.
Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.
All right, welcome to the End FGM Live. My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi, and today we are back in Pokot region. West Pokot is where we are joining Domtila Chisang, as well as Nicholas Songok and David Krop, who will still be joining us in this call. Remember that they have been on a road trip, and we've been featuring them in the past few weeks in regards to the ongoing plummeting in FGM cases in that county. So we're still trying to add everyone, but Domtila is already here. So I'll just let her introduce us and just give us a small brief about where we are at and how far we are at in that regard. Karibu sana Domtila, we do appreciate having you here today. Just a small brief, how has it been? Where have you been?
Hi, Jeremiah. Thank you so much for hosting me on this show today once again. So I'm speaking from West Pokot County and Kapenguria to be specific. But in the past 1 week, we have been on a road caravan and or a road show, an anti-FGM road show, which was majorly a response campaign to the alarming cases of FGM that have been reported across West Pokot County. To be specific, we camped at Central Pokot Sub-County, which recorded the highest cases of FGM.
Central.
But before we went to Central Pokot Sub-County, yes. Yeah. But before we went to Central Pokot Sub-County, we also visited parts of South Pokot Sub-County, Tapach and Kamelai to be specific, which also recorded a higher number of FGM cases. And so that's what we've been up to. We've been visiting villages. We have been visiting girls who have been subjected to FGM. We have been seeing some other victims in hospital. And we've also been on the road with the police officers and other law enforcers, making, ensuring that those who are perpetrating FGM are brought to book.
All right.
So it's not been an easy time.
All right. Thank you very much. We've been following as well on this side, and good job on your side. Just in case someone is joining us, would you just give a small brief about how the situation is like in Pokot in terms of numbers, in terms of regions, in terms of who is working as well on the ground?
So, like I said, in the last 3 weeks, I received information and numerous reports from the ground that girls are being cut in numbers. So I reached out to the anti-FGM board and shared the same information with the county commissioner, and we even held like an emergency meeting with the assistant county commissioners, gave phone calls to chiefs, and then of course the other community members, other grassroots activists. So it was like a really challenging moment for West Pokot County, because we were receiving cases and all of them are being confirmed to be true. So what happened? We thank God anti-FGM responded very quickly, and they sent some of their staff to come and try to mitigate the situation. And so we teamed up with ActionAid, World Vision, Anti-FGM Board, both the national and the county government, and of course IREP Foundation, the host.
All right. So
we have received, like right now, I can confidently say the number of girls just after coming from the field or being in the community for 1 week and sampling them all up, I can say without fear of contradiction that the number of girls in West Pokot County who have been cut are over 700.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's a staggering number. Just looking at how sparsely populated these communities can be in such counties. So I know it's been a tough week for you, so we wouldn't want to have this for very long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to add David as well as Nicholas. And if we are successful, okay, we have this conversation. If we are not, then we just proceed. Thank you very much for joining us today, Domtila. For those who are watching us, we are live in Pokot. In the Pokot region, and Domtila Chisang joins us today together with David Krop and Nicholas Songok, who both have been on the road this week trying to sensitize the communities in that region on the importance of not cutting their gas, as well as just making sure that they are able to keep track of what's happening on the ground in that regard. Short break, we'll come back, and when we do, we'll have hopefully added our guests, David Krop as well as Nicholas Songok. Stay tuned.
Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.
All right, we are back. This is the End FGM Live all the way from West Pokot. Joining us is Domtila Chisang, still trying to add David Krop and Nicholas Songok. Just in case we are not able to add them, we'll just proceed with this conversation. Just reminding you that we have been featuring this county, and one thing that has come back up is an increase in the numbers of the girls cut during this time of COVID-19. And as Domtila said, the numbers are skyrocketing. And just mentioned initially, we were talking about the southern part of Pokot. Now Central seems to have had even more cases. So we'll just go straight talking about that. Remember that she had mentioned that they've been on the road for the past 1 week together with the anti-FGM board, as well as representatives from Action Aid and World Vision, together with the cooperation of the county government. So we'll just go straight back to Domtila, and if you can see us, Domtila, because you're out of frame a little bit, we are just looking at what the situation is like in that county, and I would just like you to just share a very small brief about how the people are coping with the situation. I know that there is definitely an increase, but I've also seen pictures of you on social media talking about some dire situations, looking at girls who had just been freshly cut and you had found them in their homes. What's the situation like? Just a small brief about how is it like right now in Pokot?
Thank you, Jeremiah. Once again, like I said, I don't think I'll have like one sentence to describe the situation that's happening in West Pokot County, because honestly speaking, this is like, I've never witnessed something like this before. It hasn't been easy. It's been overwhelming. Just confirming that in one village, you find like 100 girls have been cut, and there's evidence plastered all over the place. You find girls who need like urgent medical attention, but they cannot access the medical attention support because, of course, they are fearing that they may be arrested. Their parents are hiding them. So I've heard stories that I've never, ever heard in my entire life. And this is my community. I was born here. I live here. I work here. But just being on the field or in the communities for 1 week, it wasn't an easy task. We had to walk to villages which have been disconnected from the rest of the places because of the roads.
Yeah.
So in West Pokot County, is like a hilly kind of county. So the roads, the road network is very poor.
Yeah.
And so the places that have been highly affected are the remote villages.
Yeah.
Whereby are not even accessible by vehicles.
Yeah.
So most of the time we had to rely on borders to ferry us to the sites.
Borders are the motorbikes.
Are the motorbikes, and sometimes when borders are not able to access those villages, we had to walk. So I think I believe you've been able to see some of those photos of us walking up the hills So I'm a little bit challenged by the fact that as much as we have been thinking that we've been doing so much as campaigners or as the government or other non-state agencies to curb FGM or to eradicate FGM.
Yeah.
One thing I can say for sure is that we haven't done enough yet. We haven't, because there are still places where people are 100% ignorant of the FGM laws, of the effects of FGM, because this is a vast county. Like, for example, I have only been able to reach a few places because of the capacity that I have as an individual, and also as running an organization, which is a CBO, which is a community-based organization. So I was a little bit in a state of a dilemma, because I didn't know whether it's actually should we use the law. Yes, you want to use the law because we want justice for the girls. But again, this is a community. This is a village that is been disconnected from the rest of the places. This is a place where people have no idea why FGM is wrong and why they should stop FGM. So it according to me, it gave me this sense that we have to go back. We have to go back to the drawing board and do a mapping of all the places. But yes, well, we know all these places that FGM has been happening. But I think the effort that has been put to end FGM is not enough yet. It isn't enough. Yes, some people might be sitting somewhere and thinking that we have done enough. We haven't done enough, because there are places, Jeremiah, that are, in fact, yesterday, before we came back, where girls don't go to school. Literally, they don't go to school. I will send you some of the photos. It's normal. They don't go to school. The boys go to school, but the girls don't go to school. That's Masol ward, an entire, very few girls go to school. And even if they do, they only go up to class 7, class 8, then they drop out, they're married off. So it even gave me, I don't know how to describe this feeling, like, I think we need to go back to the drawing board and re-strategize as campaigners and come up with a better approach, which is not just advocacy, which is not just sensitization, but making sure that every village is accessible. This is now where the government has to come in strongly. Ending FGM is not only about sensitization. Yeah. It's not only about advocacy. It is about making sure that villages are accessible by road. Villages, there are schools available in the communities. If there are no schools, how will children go to school? Because we all know that a school or education is an alternative for children. So if there's no, and the FGM for us is a rite of passage. So if a child is not in school, believe it or not, automatically she will be cut. All right. She will be cut and she'll be married off.
Question.
Our situation is just.
Yeah, I understand, Domitila. But one question that I would like to ask is, looking at the situation, I'm just wondering, and let me just divulge or just step aside a little bit, talking about a whole ward or villages that lack schools, but I thought that administrative units in counties actually allow for devolution in that sense, where allocation of funds in each ward focuses on even education, healthcare, roads, electricity, basic infrastructure that everyone could say is available for to anyone. Why is it that different in that case in those wards?
Okay, I think this is how I can answer your question. A building alone cannot provide education. You can build, you can construct.
All right. We are
a building, and sorry about that.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm back. So what I'm saying is that very little has been done in terms of ensuring that children, especially girls, go to school. Right. So there are places where, like I said, there are places where the nearest school is 2 hours away from the village. You get maybe 2 hours away. You have to walk to the schools, and then the same villages do not really, like the level of illiteracy in West Pokot starts at 67 or 76. I think 67%. That's the level of illiteracy, and illiteracy contributes a bigger deal in continuation of FGM. So, well, I know you asked a very good question that, this is the responsibility of the government to make sure that the schools are set up. Yes, but I said, even if they build the schools, even if they build the classrooms, and there is no civic education to educate the community why they should ensure that their children go to school, then they will not go to school. You see, in fact, I witnessed a scenario where I've heard only in stories from my grandparents telling us they were, some time back, chiefs used to be forced to forcefully force people or parents to put their children in school. They will go to homes and they will force parents to put their children in school and even forcefully get those children out of those homes. So there are places in West Pokot County where such force still needs to be used so that children can go to school. Because you talk to children and you ask them, why are you not in school? Because they're not in school just from the way they dress, and they look at you like, what are you saying? So I encountered a particular case where I spoke to two girls, about 12 years old, and they were telling me that their brothers go to school. So they don't go to school, but their brothers go to school. So that is the situation.
We'll just take a short break, and before then, I'll just go through some of the comments that are coming in. Prince Lemayan says, following from Kitengela town, Kajiado County. Sonyango Olengai says, what are the chiefs doing in relation to ending FGM? And I think one question that I would ask when you come back is, how are the stakeholders basically working during this caravan? How are you coordinating among the organizations that are taking part as well? Millicent Tipatet says, are there enough campaigns being conducted to educate the people on FGM? If so, are they working in changing their perspectives on FGM? Merin Naiduya says, yes, educating the society is very important because some people do it secretly. Keep all the comments coming in. We will surely try our best to read them. It's, as you can see, streaming on the screen as well. My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi, produced by Tony Mwebia, Antonio Sophia, as well as Sonyanga Weblen. This is the End FGM Live. Short break, we'll come back.
Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.
All right, we're back. This is the End FGM Live show. Still trying our best to add our guests. If not, we just go on with Domtila Chisang, who basically joins us from West Pokot. We are talking about the situation as it is right now. And for the past 1 week, the team, which consists of about 4 organizations, have been on the road trying to sensitize these communities and mapping out where the cases are. Many cases reported, as Domtila tells us, that there are more and more girls still at risk at this time. Many have been cut. She put the statistic at not less than 700. The anti-FGM board has been in West Pokot and has been on the road with Domtila. And I'm just going to ask a quick question to Domtila as she comes on to the screen. How have they been able to coordinate and cooperate as 4 organizations on the road reaching out to these communities? Just to remind you that actually sensitization has been done. It's a vast county. As she has put it, some of them are not accessible even by road. How are they coordinating? Karibu sana once again to the End FGM Live. My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi and I am with Domtila Chisang all the way from West Pokot. And to you, Domtila, just a quick one. As I had said before, how are you coordinating?
Yeah, so well, like I said, Jeremiah, I'm the host organization, or I chair the host organization, which is IREP Foundation, which is a community-based organization, and I was like the whistleblower because I'm based here. So, and the first team to respond was the anti-FGM board, which was able to reach out to the other organizations, the partner organizations, that is World Vision and Action Aid. Yeah. And of course, we had to rope in the county government through the office of, not the county government, I mean the national government, the administration, through the office of the CEC. who was able to provide us with a vehicle to move around, a GK vehicle, and he was also able to provide us security and of course other reinforcement while we were in the field in terms of arrest and all that. And then of course World Vision were also able to provide us with transport. They were same as Action Aid, just for transport mobility. They give us one vehicle each. And then the anti-FGM board are the one who have supported the entire 1 week road show, which is now going to be 2 weeks because we are hitting the road tomorrow. We just had a break today to come back and have a change of clothes before we can be in the community. So the first week we were doing more of like a response campaign, trying to put a stop to the cutting spree. Okay. Like I told you, we even at one point we had to disperse a team to FGM ceremonies at night, the middle of the night. While we were in Central Pokot, I got a phone call from one of our community mobilizer that there was an ongoing FGM ceremony that night. All so right. That's the girls are being prepared for the cut the following morning. So he tipped me, and then I went, that was around 10 p.m. I called the county commissioner who very quickly coordinated a response team. So they were assigned a vehicle and police officers, and we were headed to the villages. And we found that there were actually two ceremonies. There were three, but we were able to disrupt two of them. Right. So there were three ceremonies, so we were able to, we saved 51 girls that evening, that night. So the raid, it was like a raid. Honestly, like I told you, I've never seen something like this before, whereby you are going about with police officers just to make sure that the girls are saved. Because 51 girls were saved, and that morning 3 girls were cut. So, but out of those 51 were saved because of that intervention. Yep. So that is how we've been working, and I've been like constantly updating the anti-FGM board through the CEO and the county commissioner. So we have been on the field with really good support from the administration, West Pokot provincial administration, through the office of the county commissioner, and with the ACCs on the ground who are leading the team. And the chiefs as well have done a wonderful job. Most of the chiefs have done a wonderful job. And because the campaign or the 1 week caravan has put everybody on toes, because we had public address, we were talking as we moved from one marketplace to the other. And on top of that, we were also having a dialogue with some people, because of course we are not allowed to bring a larger crowd, like a crowd together. So we were doing, it was more of like a mobile anti-FGM station campaign, but it was actually aimed at putting a stop to the cutting spree, because during that time, that last week alone, that is when the cutting was like at peak. It's like at peak now, because what happens in my community is like if a girl in the neighborhood is cut, she will put pressure on the other girls. So the other girls will feel pressure to also undergo the same act. Yeah. That way, it becomes like a sequence now. So girls get pressured by the fact that their fellow the age mates have been cut, because this thing is like an age set. But yeah. So now it was like escalating to a point where we were being told that in this village there's no single girl. For example, I can use Mosop, where we had to walk up the hills. We were told, no girl, there's no single girl here who has come of age that has not been cut. All the girls, so you're being shown, like, you see those hills, you see that forest over there. That forest alone, there are girls hiding in those bushes. They have been cut. And then, surprisingly, again, we wanted to understand, like, what are some of the reasons why there's been like an alarming FGM cases happening across the county, because we thought we had come some steps towards eradicating FGM. Why have we gone back to square? We've gone back to zero. What has happened? And then we were given very good and very valid reasons. Just like I said, it gave me a little bit of to think about all this work we've done before in other parts. So, for example, one of the reasons we were given was there has been cases where a body of a lady who died, and her body was exhumed 3 days after she was buried, to be cut before she was buried, because it is believed her body, like, she was, sorry.
Yeah, she was like her body was unearthed and then she was cut and then reburied again.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Because I saw such a chief speaking
I have
about
a video clip of the chief. We heard about it before we went to the village. When we went to the village, we were told the same story, and the chief even confessed that actually happened, and the man who does that has been arrested. We made sure that man has been arrested, so he's been arrested. So that is the main reason why hundreds of girls have been cut in that location. It's called Mosop location, because now parents are believing that, and girls are also asking themselves why we want to go through the same issue that just happened. So they will rather get it out of the way. That is actually what is happening in West Pokot County. Like, girls are actually even allowing FGM to be done on them, and they're even asking for it, because everybody wants to, because this is a prolonged holiday, so there's enough time. So because they know that at one point they will be cut, so everybody wants to say, let me get out of the way. It's like you've been given some assignment, when you're in school, and you feel like, okay, but instead of waiting for break time to do it, I'll rather do it now and get out of there, because I will still do it anyway. You get? So that is the situation. So another reason was that in that particular location, there are only 2 women who have not been cut. Only 2 women. Only 2 role models who have not been cut. One of them is an NPR, and another one is a teacher.
All right. That NPR is police service?
Yes, police service.
All right.
The lady. So there are only 2 women who have not been cut. I interviewed them, and they gave us their stories, and it's not easy. Even for you, I was putting myself in the shoes of a girl or a woman from that village, and even if I was in that situation, you cannot withstand the pressure that these women go through. The role models I'm talking about, because they were telling me that even their husbands are at the verge of abandoning them now, because they can't take it anymore, because they get stigmatized, they get mocked, they get isolated, and they even get attacked physically. They get attacked because they are being told that they're a bad example. You get? So, and one of the role models that I was just talking about, the teacher. At one point, she was expectant and she was on labor. She needed to give birth, and because, like I said, that place is miles and miles away from the nearest hospital.
Yeah.
So they rely on the TBS. TBS are the local midwives.
Yeah. So
they rely on those to deliver them. So we were told that woman would have lost her baby and probably TBS, the local midwives, refused to help her deliver her baby
because she had not
been cut. Yes, until it took the effort of some people and some men to come and convince the TBS to come and help that woman. She would have died. So the stigma on FGM is very, very high, and we need to rethink on how best to handle this case or this situation. Because if I was in that situation, I'm sure I would have also fallen a victim of the same. Because how else will you survive? You can't survive in such a village. Yeah, there's no role model.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you very much. Purity Oye says, Domtila, the Iron Lady, congratulations. A smile for you.
Thank you so much.
Ekale Daniel says, I'm tempted to think that FGM is no longer a traditional practice, since some of the elites in the modern society are also quiet about it. And he goes on to say, this minimal response by the learned in the society escalates the situation in some areas. So people shouldn't be quiet on this. We should all take part in this. So that's Daniel Ekale. Yes, so keep the comments coming. This is the end of FGM Live. Domtila, do you have something to say in that regard?
Yeah, I have a question, and I think I want this question to go far and wide. And this is a question from a grassroots activist. And we've been informed, or we heard the president saying that he's determined to end FGM by 2022.
Yeah.
We have had all these resources put into eradicating FGM.
Yeah.
And we have a vision of ending FGM by 2030. But my question is, are we really in to end FGM? Like, because it's like we're going round and round and round. We're going round and round and round by just doing the talk.
Yeah.
So because listen, Jeremiah, this is what I feel. I'm feeling very emotional right now, because there are people who have the power, the people who have the influence. We have the leaders of this country. We have African leadership. It's just a matter of people coming out. Why can't we just declare war on FGM, like literally be there and just end FGM. It's it's like we are looking at FGM like an elephant in the room. We're just looking, but we're going around it. Nobody wants to actually hit it like directly. We're just going around. We're having all these meetings. We're having all these conferences. We're having all this, and there's so much money being pumped into ending FGM. But look at West Pokot. My organization, I can say that without fear of anything, that my organization, the IRE Foundation CBO, has been a frontline CBO in West Pokot to end FGM. Then we only have other two NGOs, that's World Vision and Action Aid, which are now NGOs. But they can only handle a section. So what about the rest of the community? What about the rest of the area? What is going to happen? When are we reach out to these people? So if we are going to end FGM by 2022, it will mean only a handful of people will end FGM in 2022, or in just a few areas. But the rest of it will still be practicing FGM. We still have a village that's still performing FGM up to 100%. We still have law enforcers. We still have chiefs. They're still having teachers. So the question is, yes, we want to end FGM. I really want FGM to end even right now. But this came from the same government doing about.
That's a good question. The anti-FGM body is a place that I always refer to because it's the body that is mandated to actually deal with FGM issues here in Kenya and end it. Even as the president made a remark that is going to be ending by 2022, that means it has a bigger load on the anti-FGM board to actually coordinate and make sure that the cases drop fast in this country. And one question that I also, because that was, I really can't answer that question, Domtil, and I think that's also a question to everyone.
Yeah, it wasn't for you.
I'm just also wondering what measures we've not taken just to make sure that we are able to do what we have not done in those many years. I know that Pokot is a big region. There are different constituencies in it. So how are we able to coordinate and make sure that we are actually able to reach out and make that difference that's needed at this time? We'll take a short break, Domtila. We'll come back and we'll be coming to conclude. But for anyone who's watching this program right now, please leave a comment on ask Domtila questions in regards to ending FGM in her region, because it's been a tough week for her. And having this conversation makes it possible to just get the message to the right authority. So bring in the questions and comments as well, and we will be surely reading them out. This is the End FGM Live. My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi, and this show is produced by Tony Mwebia, Anthony Sophia, and Sonyanga Weblen.
Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.
All right, welcome back. This is the End FGM Live. I just go straight to the comments coming in. I'll just read one from Millicent Tipatet, who says, are there enough campaigns being conducted to educate the people on FGM? If so, are they working in changing the perspectives on FGM? Domtila, just a quick one on how you've been, because I know you've been working, but someone is joining us right now wondering what has been happening in these counties. So just to answer very briefly what Millicent says, are there enough campaigns being conducted to educate the people on FGM? Words like Mosop, almost 100%, as you had said, of the girls are undergoing the cut at this time. Are there enough campaigns, basically? Just a small brief about that.
So I will say that question, I will answer it this way. There are campaigns that are aimed at eradicating FGM. But the question is, are there enough actors? in this field in the communities that have been supported to eradicate FGM. The FGM issue or the FGM topic has been ongoing for quite some time.
All right.
But the question is, I know there are a number of people in this community, for instance, who feel like FGM should not find its way into this century, right?
Yeah.
The people who never cut their gun, people who have married women who are not cut.
Yeah.
But what the silence on it is the question.
Yeah.
People know that it's not right, including the leadership of this community. They know that FGM is not right. But the fact that people are keeping quiet about it, the fact that FGM topic is still being swept under the carpet, the fact that there's no money that is actually allocated by the county governments to help to eradicate FGM.
Yeah.
So it's not enough to just say FGM is wrong. Yes, I know you know it's wrong. But what are you doing about it? You have the power, you have the influence. You see, so there are so many people, even in the communities, who know that FGM is wrong. Even maybe some of the chiefs, they know it's wrong. But nobody's conducting proactive campaigns. Nobody's actually, the leadership is not putting their money where their mouths are. So people are just there. They will not support it. They will not speak about it.
Right.
And they will not advocate for it.
All right.
So that is what is making FGM to continue. Because those who are mandated to protect the children or to support these initiatives are doing nothing about it. So just by keeping quiet, so the silence on FGM and the FGM, I think, is being underestimated as just an issue. That's the problem. Where the problem is, it's just being treated or handled as an issue. Because I remember when I approached some of the very powerful leadership across, and the way people talk about the issue is like it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. And that is why I was saying we are going round and round and round, because it's not being given the seriousness it deserves. Jeremiah, I'm giving you a question, a very good question. I just came back from, not for you, but just a question. I just came back from the police station right now with my team, the Anti-FGM Board Action Aid and World Vision. I took them to the police station. And at the police protection unit, that is the CPU, the child protection unit, there are 9 girls, 4 girls, victims of FGM at the police custody. Because they are supposed to testify or to give as witnesses, because some of their parents have been arrested, some cutters have been arrested. Those are 9, and there are others who have already been released to go home.
Yep.
And then those are 9. So like we have received the highest number of we made the highest number of children being hosted at the police station right now. We've been to see them. They have fresh wounds. Some of them are unwell. They've been treated, yes. But what does that tell you? It tells you that we are distant from the reality. Like we are in completely 2 different worlds. It's different. It's totally different. What people are seeing and we are like in completely 2 different worlds.
Frustrating it is. Just reading a few comments coming in. Purity OES says signing papers to end FGM is one thing, but advocating at the grassroots where it's being practiced is another thing. The president should know that FGM isn't being practiced in boardrooms or hotels. Stephanie Sinclair says powerful, devastating information. Godfrey Okumu says watching from Dakar, Senegal. A great conversation. Thank you very much for that. Keep the comments coming. We are almost bringing this to a close. Domtila, just a quick question to you, even as we bring this to a close. A very quick question to you. If someone wants to help, how can they do so? What do you need right now?
Thank you, Jeremiah. That's a very good question that's just coming at the right time. Like right now, what we need, first of all, what I need is for people to speak out, people to use their spaces, their influence, whatever platform you have, to talk about FGM, to pressurize the government to end FGM. Let's ask the government to end FGM. Because I just need a voice, really. I just need like a powerful voice for people to just tell the government, you know what, end FGM. Because I know they can end FGM. If they want to end FGM today, they'll end FGM. They will come out of those, you know, whenever sometimes we have insecurities in West Pokot County. We have seen even the Interior Minister coming to West Pokot. People coming to West Pokot, the Deputy President coming to West Pokot, even the President himself coming to West Pokot, and people holding meetings and dialogues. Because there have been insecurity cases, right? People have been stealing from each other, and people have been killing each other. But the fact that there have been 100 girls in one village having subjected to FGM, and it hasn't raised an alarm. Nothing, completely nothing. So what I need right now is for that voice, that kind of support. First of all, if you feel that this is an issue that will come to an end, let's not discuss it. Let's just ask the government to end FGM. We cannot just be eating the laws, like the policy saying, we will end FGM. There's a children department that has been mandated to end FGM, to protect children. What children are you protecting? Today is the day of the African child. The African child is suffering in the bushes. She's been cut. Her future will never be the same again. Yeah. So what African child are we talking about? So the question is, the support I need right now is for people to add their voices into the campaign to eradicate FGM. Add your voice into the campaign to eradicate FGM. Let's put pressure on our government to end FGM. There should be no other girl going through this torture, this harmful practice. Number two, I also need support in terms of setting up temporary rescue centers or safe spaces. There are girls in the communities, in the villages, who are living in fear. They don't want to be cut, but they have nowhere to run to. All rescue centers across the country were closed down without the least care of the girls at risk, the children at risk. So I need that kind of support. It has to be immediate support so that we can have the centers where girls can run to, children can run to when they feel they're pressurized or when they feel they're at risk. Number three, which is also another request I can make, is that as grassroots activists, I'm here. I've dedicated my time. I haven't seen my children for 1 week, and I'm going back again tomorrow. I have sacrificed, and this is something I feel so passionate about. Yeah. But I am limited by the fact that I can't move from point A to point B because I don't have a vehicle. Because, like I say, the terrain, you need to have a Land Cruiser, like a 4-wheel vehicle, so that you can access these villages. I can live in the villages for a whole month. Because this is the time for me to end. This is the time for us to end this. I know there's so many other people who are doing the same thing, but we are struggling to actually end FGM, but we don't have the support. We don't have the support. We are being told, Jeremiah, because we are grassroots activists or we are grassroots organization, we can't access the support that is available. Because why? Because we are too small. Too small, but doing big things. So the fact that we are being viewed, that we don't have the structures, we don't have what it takes, we don't have the experience, we don't have the knowledge to do these beautiful proposals and these beautiful reports, but look at the work we are doing. So is it about the paperwork or is it about the work that is being done to eradicate FGM? So I think there's need to change the narrative altogether. And people who have the resources, who have the power, who have the influence, need to know where to invest their resources into.
All right. Thank you very much for that. We do appreciate that. Really goes a long way in giving us a picture of how things are, what you're going through, and what basically could be done to support grassroots organizations as well as activists on the ground. A long time it is since the campaigns began, even with the passing of the anti-FGM or the basic prohibition of the practice of FGM Act in 2011. Still, lots of efforts need to be made on the ground. Today joining us is Domtila Chesang, who joins us all the way from West Pokot, asking us to take personal responsibilities, even as the government does what it is supposed to do, that is follow up on cases and make sure that we have a track of what's happening on the ground. We still have a responsibility to make sure that we push the government as well to make sure that they answer questions, difficult questions, as well as do what they're supposed to do, protect these girls as mandated by our constitution. You're going to bring this to a close. Domtila, still asking you, how if someone wants to reach out to you, either to support your work or just follow up on what the progress is, or even just chip in regards to the campaigns, how are they able to reach out to you? And do you have any specific action that you would ask them to take, even as they think about reaching out to you?
So thank you, Jeremiah, for that bit. And I think before I can answer your question, I also wanted to request that if anybody has the knowledge to offer psychosocial support, that will really be welcome at the moment, because like you have been following on my tweets and my updates, there are girls who are traumatized, like the ones at the police station that are not getting any counseling. even personally, as a frontline grassroots activist, I'm really disturbed. Like right now, I'm not in my best state of mind because of what I've encountered being in direct contact with involved with the victims of FGM, and what I've been able to learn from some of the stories that I've told you about. And then before I can also answer that question, there's something I forgot to tell you, that there's also another reason.
All right. All right, we lost you a little bit, Domtila. Sorry for that.
Sorry.
Again.
No, I'm back here. Okay, yeah. So I'm saying, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Yeah, I'm saying there are also other reasons. For example, like natural calamities and the disasters that are happening that were recently witnessed in West Pokot County, like the landslides and the flooding. So all these are being blamed on the woman, on her genitals, but because she was not, just because we have not been cutting our girls. That is why there's been mass cutting, because they believe that the disaster that's been happening in West Pokot County has been brought about by the fact that girls are not being cut. Can you believe that? Anyway, how you can reach me, if anybody wants to reach me for maybe more inquiries or support, we are available. You can reach me on Twitter at cdomtila. You can also check us out on IREP Foundation. So if you just go to just click -REP Foundation, and of course you can always link up with Jeremiah and the team through the NFGM Live, and they'll be able to connect us.
All right, still trying to connect to Domtila. Go on, we lost you a little bit again. Almost done. All right, you can now hear you. Go on.
Yeah, so that is how you can reach out to us, and also I have you can also email me on chesangdom@gmail.com. chesangdom@gmail.com.
All right, thank you very much for that, Domtila. We do appreciate the work that you are doing all the way from West Pokot. Pokot now is a hotspot county in regards to FGM, and lots of efforts are undergoing. But Domtila says there's lots more to be done, despite having an act that actually prohibits the practice of FGM here in Kenya, with the president also saying that FGM should end by 2022 in this country. We still have a long way to go. Up to 700 girls is what Domtila says have been cut in West Pokot County. And now we stand here at this time of COVID-19. We hardly have mass education programs as well as outreaches. We do not have access to these villages due to rough terrain. So it's a difficult thing, or it's a difficult terrain for the activists on the ground. So we just ask for your support. If you are able to, please, we are looking forward to seeing how we can collaborate. So I'm just going to go to the comment section as I bring this to a close. I see Gisele Potinia says, amazing Domtila, so inspired by you. Good job as always, Domi. Chepatula says, Yegon Emmanuel. And Giselle says, please spell out your email. So I think we'll just do that right now. Domtila, if you can still hear us. So Giselle is just asking if you are able to spell out.
Sorry, Jeremiah.
Yeah, Giselle is saying if you could quickly spell out your email so that she can be able to reach out to you.
So Chesang is CHESANG, then DOM. That is Chesang Dom. Chesang is CHESANG Dom DOM @gmail.com.
Chesangdom, CHESANGDOM @gmail.com is her email address. Reach out to her at cdomtila on Twitter, or just reach out to us on at NFGM Live, and we'll be able to make sure that you are able to reach out to Domtila wherever you are. Thank you very much. Just bring this to a close. My name is Jeremiah Kipaino, bringing you the show. It's a weekly show, the NFGM Live, hosted by Tony Jeremiah Kipaino. That's me, Tony Mwebia, the producer, Antonia Sophia, as well as Sonyanga Ole Nice. All right, bring this to a close. Till tomorrow, take care, stay safe, do all you can, because it's possible that we are able to support each other and NFGM sooner than we actually Scotland. So it's yours and my responsibility. All right, till tomorrow, take care.
Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.